welcome to an interesting interview with two of India's, I shouldn't say upcoming, established and future stars. Both of them have sort of given us some fantastic wins, have done very well individually in their careers so far, are stars of the ongoing UTT, and all of us will be looking at both Sreeja and Diya in the coming Asian Games. We remember watching the two of them in Birmingham. All of us were there cheering for and celebrating them. And this is another opportunity to celebrate the sport and celebrate the two of them the way they have evolved in their respective fields. Welcome. Thank you very much for joining. Sreeja, to you. What does a tournament like the UTT do? Because you get to play, competitively with your teammates and international players. I've seen there's a lot of cheering. Each point matters. For 5-6 years now, 2017 start. What has it done for the sport?
I think for a sport like table tennis, such leagues are very important because it's not just for the players who are participating, but also for the players, youngsters who come to watch the matches. It's really a good experience and a good exposure for everyone. And for us, we are getting to play with the foreign players in the matches, and as well as we are able to train with them for 20 days. So it's a very good period of time to train with so many different sparring partners, and it's also a good match practice for us just before the Asian Games. We're getting to play with many international players, and we're getting to play good quality matches here. So it's really good for the sport. Also, it's really good. It helps in the promotion of the sport. So I think even domestic leagues, like the states are also conducting different domestic leagues. So all these leagues are really good for the sport, and yeah.
Okay. Diya, I was reading that you always wanted to be a part of the UTT. You watched it as a spectator. Now you are playing, obviously sort of making a difference to your team, winning close games. Talk to me about your own journey from being a spectator to now being someone who is in the thick of the action.
So I would say ever since UTT started in 2017, I had been like always following every match like very closely. Like I was also present in the stands, watching the matches all the time, and I think it really excited me. Like this league, like the different format. Like it's so quick. It's very, very different from what we are normally used to playing. And so I always wanted to be a part of it and like contribute to a team. And I'm really so happy that this year I was able to be a part of Mumbai team. And I would say so far it has been a great season. Like Sreeja said, like in these a period of 1 month, like we get to practice, train, also compete against some of the top players of the world. And I think for me, especially like being a young player, it's very, very good learning experience and exposure to be able to like see them so closely, also compete against them. And this league also provides a great platform for us to be able to compete against them and get the confidence that we can also win against them. So
let me ask you a follow-up. I was watching the games, and what is interesting is there's a lot of shouting around. There's a lot of cheering around, and sort of each point people are cheering. From both sides. How is that? Because it clearly sort of at one level puts pressure, at another level is an opportunity and gets you into the thick of the action and motivates you to do well. How are you treating this whole ambience and atmosphere?
So normally like we are not used to playing like men's and women's mixed teams, like we always have different teams. And so I think, and also it's like just one table, that everyone is watching you and it's just one match at a time. So of course, like there is pressure because the entire team is like backing on you and everyone is there for you. But at the same time, I find it like very, very exciting. And normally I'm a player who likes this cheering and shouting from the stands from my teammates. So I think this really pushes me and pumps me to go there and play my best. So like while there is pressure, like because it's a team event and of course every single point and every game matters. But like with the support of the crowd, of my team, everything, I think that really pushes me.
What is also important, I'm talking of the brand here. UTT 2017, hardly any talk. But now if you look at it, there's live coverage which is being watched. There is a lot of print coverage across the country in leading papers, websites. magazines, etc. So all of a sudden, we see a very strong fillip. I mean, for table tennis, for some other sports like football, after that SAF win, of course, athletics with Neeraj and now with Sri Shankar and everybody else. So we are on our way to becoming a multi-sporting nation. That for me is the biggest takeaway, right? And when things like the Commonwealth Games happen, the Asian Games happens, that's where we see that this country is now backing its stars, both of you in this case. So two more questions on UTT before I move on. One, when you're playing compatriots, generally, yes, in international events you do, but when you're playing compatriots on home soil, except in the nationals, which again aren't that watched at the moment, is there an extra pressure or is there an extra motivation that I've got to beat? We are part of the team together. Does it put pressure when you play, say, one of your teammates in a UTT format?
Yes, in a format like UTT, it definitely puts pressure on us and we are playing for the team. Unlike the domestic events, we play the individual events, and here it's the team event, and like everybody is watching us play, and I feel it's because of the format also. It builds some pressure because it's so fast, it's so quick, and yeah, for me, I just try to play my game. However it is, whoever the opponent is, I just try to focus on my game, and so I'm trying to do well. Yeah.
How do you deal with pressure? I mean, some people, for example, Sachin tells me that pressure, you can be dealing with it in two ways. One, it is on top of you, it pushes you down. One, it is behind you, pushes you forward. That's Tendulkar. How do you deal with pressure?
Yeah, I'm also working on dealing with it. I'm working with a mental trainer, Ms. Gayatri. So yeah, I'm getting better. But yeah, I take it in a positive way. I don't try to during the match I don't focus more on the other aspects, but I just try to see the ball and just focus on that present moment, and that really helps me to focus at that particular point.
Okay. Sharath also mentioned to me that Gayatri Vartak has actually helped Sharath in a much better way in terms of getting mentally stronger. So that's good to hear. Diya, from a very educational kind of background, right? Family into education, you are perhaps the first one coming into sport in that sense. How was it? I mean, yes, playing at the junior level and winning an under age group tournament and thereby making a career in table tennis. But how has it been for you, over the last few years, from being a sort of starting out sport to becoming a professional player?
Yeah. So TT started just as a hobby for me. Like it was just something to do in my fun time. But when I won my first national singles medal in the under 12 category, I think that was the turning point where my hobby turned into my passion. And after that, I also started training abroad, playing many more matches abroad, and focusing a lot on my basic techniques and all. And I think after that, there was really no looking back. But of course, like the change from the junior events to the senior is very, very big. Like there's a vast difference when you're playing in the junior events and then when you come to the open events. Like the competition and the level is way, way higher. But I think what really helped me was my basic techniques, that like my basis of the game, that I started training abroad and started getting used to like playing against foreign players. I think it's more about this mental image that we create in our mind, that the foreign players are better than us. But when I trained so much with them and I was spending so much time with them, I realized that we're as good as them or can even beat them. So I think it was this belief system that was really important for me, that I can win against them. So
I love that attitude. I'll close this part of the discussion with that, because clearly it's also a bit of a mental thing. As long as we have that confidence that we can beat anybody. Love that attitude in both of you. I've seen you both perform at the Commonwealth Games. In fact, I remember, I think it was Sreeja and we were even in the cafeteria together a couple of days buying food. So I remember all of that, and all the best to both of you going forward.